if we do a job against Arsenal on the weekend, I think that'll be the start of it.
What the do?
The basically, yeah. That would be the start of their gradual decline.
To be fair, it wasn't when we beat them earlier in the season.
That's true.
Yeah,
It remains the one. That's impressive. So the fact that they've only lost to United this season, you got to give them. That is damn impressive.
Yeah. So why are you glad that they're half relevant again?
Because to me, the United-Arsenal rivalry is the quintessential Premier League rivalry. You're always going to hate Liverpool if you was raised right. The Chelsea one was good because both teams were quality, but it never had the meat of United-Arsenal. I mean, I was at the Battle of Old Trafford in 1990, which was sensational. 25-man brawl, brilliant. That Brian McClare started.
Is there videos of that?
Yes.
We're watching that later.
It's very good. It's mint. United and Arsenal were docked points for it.
Really?
So
How many?
I think it was 1 and 2. I can't remember who got 2. Who got 1.
Well, because there's like more players from one team. So
I don't know the reasons for it, but yeah, we got. I'm pretty sure we were docked points. And then also, so you know the reason. So you know the Pizzagate thing with Fabregas throwing pizza at Fergie.
I do, yeah.
Do you know the reason why they had what?
The what?
The pizza.
There's 2 different Pizzagates. There's one. We're not talking about one. We will talk about. So, Cesc Fabregas threw a pizza at Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah,
You
and
knew
that's
that,
what
right?
sparked the whole
I had no idea.
tunnel thing, right?
Right.
You threw me off.
Do you know
sorry.
why they had pizza in the change room? Because not everybody has pizza in the change room.
Did they win?
Arsenal was still banned from United's Players' Lounge because of what happened in 1990. Hey, see?
So they had to get their food into the change room.
Yeah, so they don't come into the Players' Lounge for the food. They get pizzas in the dressing room. And that's what was the case in the early 2000s when that happened. Isn't that mad?
That's not very good diet for a sportsman.
Why, pizza?
Yeah.
And it get you to speak to our sports scientist, Sam Keane. Post-match, it's the best thing. It's got fats, it's got carbs.
Oh, pizza.
Protein.
That's common. I feel like every single away game I did at academy level, when it was more than 3 hours and we came back, it was pizza.
Yeah,
Is it not better?
Yeah.
Is it not better to have like pasta or something? Well, I guess it's just carbs.
Nah, that's
innit?
more
It's-
pre-food. I think
You've got to
post
recover. You need
fats as well.
Premier League players
That is
probably put in
interesting.
2,500, 3,000 calories out on a match day.
Yeah.
And you just need to get it back in.
Well, that's what you were saying that to me before last year. You used to eat like 50 Weetabix a day when you were working in a gym. It's just carbs, innit? Just calories. Interesting. Anyway.
Doesn't need to be quinoa and spinach and all that kind of cake.
Okay,
But anyway,
fuck
so that's
quinoa.
why the United-Arsenal rivalry.
Quinoa's grim.
Yes, you've got the Keane Vieira stuff. Yes, you had the 98 team and the 99 team. They were a ball hair away from each other. We could have done a double or a treble in 98. And they could have done a double in 99.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why
how close
that's why
it
it concerns me, the whole Arsenal resurgence, because everyone says, "Well, you'd rather City than." I'd rather both get liquidated, but it's one of them where I personally think
It's no win, is it?
yeah, there's no winner.
It's
but
the fans, though, innit?
It's Petzl's
it's
3
the
in a
fans.
row, or Arsenal don't go 20 years without winning a title.
That's my problem, because Arsenal and United, as you've just mentioned, are both what you would describe as fallen giants in a sense of where we were in the era that you just described. I know we won it in 2013. They won it in 2005. So there's a bit of it. There's a larger
definition.
There's a larger gap.
8 years,
4 by
yeah.
3.
Yeah, there's a larger gap there. But I think we've both been in this in the last decade, this rebuilding process to be less of the disappointment of what was a fallen giants. And I'm thinking if they win the title, they've kind of leaped us in that rebuilding process, which will do my head in, because their fans do my head in, and the club I've never liked.
Imagine being allowed to finish 8th back to back though and still keep your job the way he has.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
if they
it's
win the league, you'd have to
working,
say credit because
Yeah,
it
100%.
worked. But imagine.
Yeah.
It makes me think if we kept Ollie, what would have happened? Do you know what I mean? Especially with new owners and stuff. Could you
I
imagine?
think we needed Ten Hag.
I mean, yeah, like after what we've seen this season, you can't not say that.
No,
but it is interesting, isn't it?
I think Ollie's a great man manager, and I think he's probably a bit of a throwback to Fergie in that sense. But what he didn't have was the tactical or the technical coach that did all the other stuff. I think Ollie probably was trying to replicate Fergie without replicating everything Fergie did.
Yeah. I think with Arsenal as well, like say they do win the league this year, I just can't see them doing it again next year based on the team. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like
it's not a team ready to dominate.
Not exactly. It very much is a bit like Leicester. It looks like a team that this season
I don't think
everything's
fade away,
clicking. It won't fade away, but like Leicester's team stayed the same. It's not like they're going to get players that are going to get picked out of it. I mean, obviously Leicester lost. Was it Kante?
But this is a team that's already playing Europe, so it's already capable of competing on a couple of fronts.
Yeah.
It's not going to go first 18th. It might go first, second, or third.
My worry is they have a little bit of the early days Klopp about them in some of their resurgence, but I just hope it's a smoke screen and it's not actually going to happen, because United are equally on their way up.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we kind of do a job on Arsenal, they fall off, and then we kind of
we actually hope for City to win the league. Yeah.
This is
no. You see, I can't get on that bandwagon at all.
So who do you want to win the league?
Well, United, but I'd have Arsenal over City, because at least Arsenal are like respectably, like they are historically a reasonably big club. If they win the league,
but have you ever met any of their fans?
I have, but like just turn off the social media for a while, just block your ears.
Arsenal
don't
fans,
see Joel for
Arsenal
a while.
fans' brains don't work like the rest of us.
I don't know, man. It's not great.
And
but I'd rather that than City, surely.
I don't care about City. I don't count them.
Yeah, but
you just financially doped to Wigan Athletic. Who gives a shit?
True.
But because
you think of it like that, makes it easier.
Because a few years ago when we were really,
it's called absolute denial.
When we were really bad and we were kind of
Won
thinking,
fucking loads. Who cares?
hope for the top
As long as
four.
they don't win the Champions League, I'm happy. If Arsenal win the bleeding league and that freak fires them to the Champions League, and Liverpool still win something and we finish fifth, you're not seeing me again.
See the empty seats yesterday.
That's obviously the problem. That is a problem. I forgot what I was going to say now.
I don't know.
Steve
Something
absolutely
about
blasted me.
Something about Fred being class.
No, it wasn't. It was about Fred. It was about the fact that whenever we've been shit in the past couple of years, and we've been playing this shit. Who would you rather win the title instead of United game? I always thought, Chelsea, because no one really gives a fuck. Like they're the ones I hate the least out of the big teams, but they're just a hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's not. So it's one of them where we're choosing between Liverpool, City, and Arsenal, and it's just like it's about time we do something ourselves and get in the mix.
Yeah, which we are doing.
I think we are. Serious. Chelsea, though, I don't want to. I will talk about Odegaard, Fred, Casemiro, etc. in a minute. But Chelsea, how many senior players can you register? It's 25, 26.
Who? I think they're
senior players
rewriting the rules.
They must be, because there's all of these players that have just signed 8-year contracts that Chelsea are signing are going to rock up, and then September the 1st, when they bosh their list into the league, they'll be like, hang on, what do you mean I'm not registered to play? And neither are these 12. What are they going to do?
I don't know how a player can keep motivated being on an 8.5-year contract.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's mental to sign it from a player's point of view, and it's mental to sign it from a club's point of view.
See,
what is the benefit?
But he was twerking for Arsenal literally the day before it.
Exactly.
He's mad on social media. He'll be entertaining. He's almost going to be as entertaining as Bowley, I think. Madrid.
Do you reckon that's partly why Bowley signed him?
Maybe. He's off his nut. Do you see that he tagged Neymar as a diver in one of his pictures?
Really?
Yeah. He's like on the beach and he's like someone diving behind him, and he's just tagged it as Neymar.
That is brilliant. But as you were saying, for the Odegaard thing.
Hang on, no, before you say what you say, the 8-year contract thing.
Yeah. What is the benefit of doing that?
Right. If you're a player
for both sides
with zero ambition, an 8-year contract means feet up, millionaire status. Winston Bogard, 101, right? Ironically at Chelsea. If you're a player with ambition, you sign a 3-year deal because they have to play you in the first season. And if they don't, they have to play you in the second season, because come the end of the second season, you're starting talking to people and then you're going to leave on a free. So they have to treat you right. Also, if you smash it in those first couple of seasons, as you're approaching the I'm on my way out the door season, they got to put some big numbers in front of you. Then you sign another 2 or 3 years and then you do it again. You'd have done that 3 times before you get to the end of the contract that you're going to get to with this. Now, he could score 900 goals next season and Chelsea can go, cool. Hope you enjoy your 100 grand a week, mate. Well played.
Daniel Barry's saying that amortization is magic. So he's basically saying the process of doing that is magic.
It's not. Amortization of a transfer means that if he's got, let's say it's 10 years, just for easy maths, right? If he's got a £100 million player and it's over 10 years, now they can put the cost of that player as 10 million a year, rather than if he signed a 4-year deal, it'd be 25 million a year, right? So that's the reason that they've done that. But from the club's point of view, if he gets injured, They could be looking at a dozen Phil Jones situations where they're going to have to unregister them, keep paying them, and find a locker space for them in the reserves.
And how much is he on a week?
Not minimum wage.
Yeah. Well, fucking hell. He's mad.
Well, I think I personally, from what I've seen of him, he looks like a proper talent now. And obviously he's not done much, but he looks like he has serious potential. So I'm glad. I'd rather him. Yeah, a lot of people talked about the transfer and the fact that he's not scored that many goals and that. But if you've actually watched him play and seen bits of him, he looks like he's got serious potential and he's only young still. And I'm actually glad that I prefer that he went to Chelsea than went to Arsenal. Yeah, because I feel like the way Arsenal are kind of firing it, I feel like if they signed someone like a Madrid,
Davis says, but they can sell him. That's the problem. Yeah, you can sell him, but if he's a player not playing, you're going to lose all the money you've invested into him. And also with a length of deal that long as well, you're going to have to take a massive hit on him.
It just looks like, because you know the whole Chelsea buy deal was like 3 billion plus $1 billion that you have to invest in the club. It looks like Bowley is just trying to get that done.
Well, I did see something that they've made so much money that they can spend something along the lines of like 500 million and not actually impact FFP.
Seriously?
Which is nuts, yeah.
How have Chelsea done that?
That's what I mean. Do you reckon the sales got anything to do with that?
Recently
yeah, they've had a couple of windows where they didn't.
But even under Lampard, at the end, was it
2 windows they couldn't buy anyone?
Tuchel, they went mental, didn't they?
I think it was what?
They have
January and a summer.
There's been a couple of windows they've had where they've spent ridiculous amounts, and it's usually, and people have pointed to the fact they've had a couple of windows where they've been banned. Some transfers
because
they've always had a little bit of controversy. Chelsea, you know, they had a controversy with their youngsters and their loaning system as well.
Yeah,
was that a couple of years ago where they had almost like 100 players on loan?
Yeah. But when you're a club, the only reason you're big is because you've been piled money into. You're obviously going to have controversies. They're just like, that's natural.
Yeah, but then what it came down to is the fact that apparently on the stats, last 20 years have they been the most successful club in England?
Yeah, they have somehow.
And it's like
with a new manager every 9 months.
And it's but that's worked for them with Roman. And Todd Bowley seems to be a little bit unhinged.
It'll probably end up working for him.
The thing is, it could work though.
So much cash.
The thing is, people are talking about all these transfers that they're doing, how they might not work or they could work. People are not talking about the fact that a lot of them could, and they have bought 10 youngsters as well.
All I'd say is,
yeah.
Have Chelsea on speed dial because there'll be some bargains, some real talent get slugged out.
I hope we get Kovacic. I'd take Kovacic in the summer.
As a rotation midfield, absolutely.
Rotation, I think he could start.
Do you
not reckon?
United coming up against Arsenal this weekend. No Casemiro is the headline. No Casemiro is the headline, and it's a big disappointment for United fans. I think looking at the home game alone is dumb. I think there's more to it than just we've played them once, we didn't have Casemiro, and it'll be fine, let's play him again. I think that both clubs have evolved a little bit in their style of play since that game. United more so because of where we were in our development at the time. I think Casemiro's become a much more important player than he was for, 10-minute cameo or whatever he got against Arsenal at home. And I think we're in a different place altogether. I think Weghorst will give us a slightly different dimension that we didn't have in that game. But they also didn't have Thomas Partey. And I think as much as we're ridiculing the comparisons between Partey and Casemiro, and you should, Thomas Partey has been good.
Yeah, has been good.
He's just not been Casemiro.
He's not been Casemiro good, but Partey has been very, very good.
And so has Odegaard. Rio said he thinks he's player of the year. I think that might be a little bit excitable, but he has been good.
He's definitely a candidate for it.
Yeah. Interestingly, someone pulled this up. Odegaard has scored more goals and got more assists at this point of the season than Steven Gerrard had the season that Liverpool won the Champions League after the entire season. FYI.
But in 2005? Yeah, but where did Liverpool finish that year in the league?
Who cares?
I just want to know how you managed to squeeze anti-Gerrard propaganda into this.
It's a skill.
That's what's done.
It's a skill.
It's ingrained in it. It's natural. You've been doing it for years.
Hey, listen, I was praising Arsenal. You got to balance that out because I get like a taste at the back of my throat with let's give Steven Gerrard some shit.
So how do you reckon United will set
Steven Gerrard's
up?
You're talking about the prospective Poland manager there.
Yeah. Imagine Polish with a Scouse accent.
I just when he got sacked from Villa, if anyone put a bet on him to become Poland manager, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, do you work for the Polish FA and are you Steven Gerrard? Because no one's thinking that.
Yeah,
it's true. It'd be a good move for him,
jeez. Because he's got controversial comments there.
It'll make him relevant
Can't
again.
touch on that.
But yeah, how do you reckon United set up to deal with Partey?
There's a reason Partey weren't available on Old Trafford. But anyway, as for
Allegedly.
As for that on the weekend, Fred's going to do a job on Odegaard. He did on De Bruyne.
He did do an excellent job on
Yeah,
De Bruyne,
yeah.
but he did also have Casemiro alongside him. I'm not sure. I mean, Scott McTominay has looked, without being disrespectful, wank lately.
Yeah, he has.
Fred's had Fred's been having more good games this season though than arguably any season.
No, but I think Fred
at
in the
United.
bigger games
Do you get me?
invariably turns up. It's when you're playing against your Fulhams and stuff, and you think he'll have a bit more time on the ball. That's when you want to just headbutt walls.
People keep saying putting Martin as a DM, even though I feel like he could play there against the.
He's out of practice.
It's very different to play centre back than to just play DM. As good as he is on the ball, and the issue is McTominay probably will get the start. Just off a
Wait. Fian DK says, shush the McTominay hate. Dude was trained in the academy as a striker till Mourinho converted him to a defensive midfielder. Now he's a jack of all trades. No, he wasn't.
He did nearly win a penalty the other night.
He
Good run.
was a central midfielder, and him and Matty Willock were both central midfielders, and we didn't have a striker because Jose Mourinho wouldn't authorise 150 grand for a lad that we had on trial, who I think he bagged 9 in 4, something like that. We had a lad that was on trial, was unreal. Mourinho wouldn't sanction the signing of anybody for the reserve team because he hadn't sorted out the first team, so they started to play Scott McTominay and Matty Willock up front. It actually rounded out both of their games because it shown them a different picture of the pitch. Scott McTominay was and always has been a central midfielder. He just played up front because Mourinho wouldn't sign a striker and there was none from the younger age group ready enough to play for the 23s.
And it is.
Thank you very much.
It is mad. It's true because McTominay did play well against Arsenal as well.
You mean
in a
McDominay?
reverse fixture, but he's not been that good
Yeah, he's been
since
shit
then.
lately.
And I think from a physicality standpoint, you can't. Fred and Eriksen as a midfield pivot against Arsenal just doesn't work from a physicality.
It just feels like a throwback to 2 years, and
Yeah.
it feels
Do you know
like
what I mean?
all the progress we've made is just getting
So
flung
I
out.
reckon he will play McTominay and Eriksen, and Fred might not even play, but he might do.
He might play Bruno on the right.
I think
which he has in the
he'll
big
play
games.
Bruno on the right, and he'll play. I think he'll go for a midfield three of Fred, Eriksen, and McTominay, and then he'll give Fred the job of.
Because I
The
thought
return
Bruno
of
coming
McTominay
in
and Fred.
and cutting off that sort of side there was a positive thing. But the problem of doing that is you lose what you gain by having an Anthony or even a Garnacho running in behind where Zinchenko vacates, because Zinchenko pushes up quite high and he ain't the quickest.
Goes narrow, doesn't he?
Haven't
Because
McTominay and Fred played much together this season.
Thankfully not, no.
But I feel like Ten Hag might get a tune out of them for a big game. He's got time to prepare them for it. Do you know what I mean? Because he did say it in the press conferences, like Casemiro didn't play last time we played them. What was the midfield last time?
I think Bruno on the right plays into their hands though.
Do you think?
I want pace on the right, like you said, for the Zinchenko thing.
He said this is the toss-up because if you play Bruno on the right, you get an extra midfielder. You've almost got a diamond in midfield, and that could strangle the midfield three of Arsenal, which would be a good thing to do because they're going to want the ball, and you're going to want to turn it over and get it into the feet of Rashford and potentially the horse up front. Now, which it should be the horse. Now, conversely though, if you've got Anthony and I think United could play compact enough in this one where having a three-pronged attack, you ask the horse to come and be the tip of the diamond, and you narrow in Rashford and Anthony just a little bit, so they're running to the outside of the centre-backs rather than directly behind the full-backs. You have the horse, up, back and through to the horse. Horse drops it in, finds Eriksen. Eriksen goes badoosh, sticks one in behind, left or right, for them to run on to 1-0 up the fucking Reds.
But it's that because obviously everyone's saying that Rashford doesn't play well on the right, but I think Rashford would absolutely rinse Zinchenko.
That might be the
If he gets
move.
the chance.
Garnacho and Rashford.
Yeah, but he likes Anthony.
I remember watching Zinchenko early in the season against Palace. He's really good going forward, inverting, being an extra midfielder. He's quality on the ball. Defensively, he's a little bit slow and he's a little bit weak defensively. He can be fine. I think he got bullied all game by Ayew on the right. So
Ayew could do that though.
I think if Rashford's on the right, Zinchenko gets limited the other way because I feel he'll be a little bit more cautious.
Oh, he's got to.
Yeah,
You have
with-
to respect
with
Marcus
his got-
Rashford's
he's
pace
got
in a
massive
minute.
pace, do you know what I mean?
I reckon he could make a ballsy call and drop Bruno. Play Fred,
Nah,
McTominay
that's
and
his
Eriksen.
captain. That's his captain.
I know, but
but
he's the manager.
I would try and find a way to throw Garnacho in because that little fucker doesn't have any lateral in him whatsoever. He's
versus
like,
Ben White.
get me to the byline. Yeah, him versus Ben White is popcorn.
Do you drop Rashford then? And then he's
You're not dropping Rashford.
Well, that's what
Unless
I mean.
he's got
like,
a knock.
What do you mean drop Rashford?
I just
Why would you
feel
drop
like
Rashford?
for this, because if you want Garnacho in, and like you said, he's not going to drop Anthony.
He'll play Rashford over Anthony though, if he has to. I reckon.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Anthony's poor
right.
at the minute.
He is poor.
I wonder if Sancho coming back, and honestly, we've said this a couple of times already, like, but if Ten Hag has played his cards right with this, and he could play a blinder with what he's done with Sancho, he's took him completely out of the limelight, took all the pressure off him, let him go do what he needs to do. Hopefully he's done what he needs to do. When we next see Sancho back in a United shirt, if he comes back with the sort of resurgence Marcus has come back with, fuck me, do we have a player?
Yeah. Would you? I like what people are saying. Would you see Garnacho on the left, Rashford up top, and Anthony on the right? Do you see him doing that just off purely counter basis?
Maybe.
The only issue is Garnacho's will be found wanting though going the other way, which is the problem. You might not have the discipline for
Ben White isn't the most offensive right backs, but he's played well and he links nice.
But I think
if he's going to do it, you do it again.
It's to say, I think when the way Saka's been playing and that, you probably need someone that's going to go back and at least double up a little bit. So I don't know if you can have someone that's just not going to be doing their bit defensively, because I'm not going to lie, the way Arsenal are playing now, it's going to be an 11-man job. Do you know what I mean?
Some people in the comments talking about Sancho maybe off the bench or Sancho coming back for this one. Imagine. That's some proper Hollywood shit if he comes back in.
Does anyone know anyway if he's in the squad or not for the weekend? I know he's back in training, but he might not be this.
I would be shocked if he's in the squad for this. I think Forest in the Cup in the week might be a better option for him.
But you know what's good? I actually trust Ten Hag to work it out. Didn't with Ranić. Ollie was a bit like, you sort of knew what team he was going to pick.
Mate,
but I back Ten Hag. He's going to make a ballsy call and it will play well. Do you know what I mean?
Ollie got a few things wrong with bringing players back from injuries and stuff like that. And sometimes he had to, but it felt like Marcus, when he came back from an injury, he was like, Jesus, he's back in the side already. And then played every week.
Though. Yeah. It's because he didn't have options. Whereas now we do, and we have a very tactically inept manager, a manager who has proven in his time at United already, only in half a season, that he can man-manage. He can play in different ways. And now he's got a challenge. Casemiro is out, but he'll work it out. I back him too.
Fergal in the super chat there says front three. Scroll it back up from us, please.
Super chat.
Front three: Garnacho, Bruno, Rashi, Garnacho and Rashford to pin the full-backs back. Midfield of Eriksen, Fred and Scott. That's an option. You can play Bruno
false nine.
Yeah. And bring the wide players in.
I think because Casemiro's not playing, I think Ten Hag's definitely going to do something a little bit tactically sexy.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's actually exciting.
Hodgie says, I'm not sure if he would risk it, but can you imagine Sancho comes back and looks off it? Well, here's the thing. Because he's took him out of the side now, there's no pressure to bring him back quick. You just need to... you bring him back when he's... he's not going to bring him back until he absolutely lights it up in training. And he'll be raring to go. So when Sancho does get unloaded, I think you need to be excited because I think he's going to look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and look what's happened to Rashford. Sancho, it can definitely happen. I'm sure it will.
And then you've got competition. You've legitimately got 4 players for 2 positions, which is perfect.
Yeah.
You've got Garnacho and Rashford on the left, and you've got Sancho and Anthony on the right, and that is talent. Brian Casey there says, Steve, did I see Lingard's interview on Darius CEO? Went through some serious shit at United. I've only seen some headlines that he had a bit of a drink problem. Without making light of it, you could almost tell something was wrong because he never came back from the World Cup, performance-wise.
Yeah, I listened to some of it last night when I was on a run, and it's a pretty brutal interview. He goes into a lot of details. It's a good listen. Yeah. But
I don't know how he does it. Steve Bartlett used to own Full-Time Devils. That's who we bought it off when we changed the name to Stretford Paddock. On his podcast, he gets people chirping like canaries. The interview with Chris Kamara was when he reveals all about his interview, incredible. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's had some absolute coups where people really just open up some shit, and you're like, people don't generally pay for podcasts. I'd be surprised if he was paying for what he's getting. I mean, the
Do they not pay?
podcasters are madness. No, you don't. People don't pay for podcasts.
But they just go on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even like Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan absolutely does not pay for podcasts.
Oh yeah, obviously because he's the biggest one in the world. So
No,
like,
but he's got a
people wanna
policy
get
of
onto
if you
his.
want, if so, people. Joe Rogan's got to the stage where, and this might have happened. I don't know, but I believe people are paying like up to 50 grand to get on Joe Rogan's podcast.
They're paying to get on it.
They're like sponsoring themselves
Obviously,
to go on it.
because of the fucking exposure, innit?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like what?
Think about it, right? If you had a product to sell, hi, welcome to Howson's Alpha Brains, right? And I go on, I'm like, hi Joe, yeah, so I'm the creator of like a pill that makes you brainy.
And how many people sees it?
Yeah.
5 mil?
Yeah,
You think what you could spend on advertising, getting on Rogan would do you some madness, wouldn't it?
that is true.
Mad that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so generally you don't pay for podcast guests. That's a move. You might cover travel for some people, and you offer to cover travel, but you don't pay.
Yeah, just offer them a brew or something when they get it.
Yeah.
Someone
I'll
says,
do.
what do you think of about Arsenal and Chelsea spending madness? I don't think, because that's what I think we need to mention. What are you thinking about Arsenal signing Trossard?
It's interesting. It's interesting. Good player. Are Brighton getting rinsed there or what?
He's got 6 months left on his contract.
Yeah.
So getting
Then Cesado's going Chelsea, I think, as well. Isn't
yeah, but them getting nearly 30 mil for
Are Chelsea signing a player a day? by the way?
no, but them getting 30 mil for a player that's 6 months left and he doesn't want to. He's not going to play for you again because he's completely felt like manager. 30 mil. That's
Done
a bit.
well
Yeah, he's done well.
That's just a wise move.
A player a day. I reckon. Do you reckon they'll carry this on until the window's closed?
Who, Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Hilarious if they do. Do you know what's going to be even more
January as
hilarious?
well.
Is if they sign all of these players, and let's be honest, a lot of these are legitimately good. If they sign all of these players and come 12th, what?
It'd be so funny.
That's the funny thing because they could flop, but people are taking a piss out of Chelsea. A lot of the players that Chelsea are signing are actually fucking good players.
Yeah.
It just depends whether it actually works, it gels or not. So it's like.
It's just like
It'll be
we're
interesting
playing
to
shit,
see.
just throw more money, throw more money, throw more
'Cause
money until we become less
'cause
shit.
The thing is, it
That's
works.
literally what they're doing.
It does work.
Yeah.
Because that Madueke from PSV is meant to be like he's got
We
some
looked at him
serious
in the summer,
potential.
didn't we?
Yeah, he's got some serious potential too. So it's like
Have they signed it?
yeah, he got to sign him yesterday and then bidded for Casado next day.
Christ. Tom Bodie's
Imagine
Tom
being
Bodie's trying to get
sporting
through that
director.
billion.
Chelsea
ASAP.
must be madness. Imagine being a scout for Chelsea if you're on 1%. My days, you just be throwing anyone in, just going, I'm just throwing names in there now.
Yeah,
It's like Bowley's like, right, I've got $1 billion to spend. That's the next thing I've got to do. And they're like, right, let's plan. Let's see what we can do. And he's like, nah, fucking just
Does he
spend
think
it
it's
now.
NFL? Does he think he needs 98 players?
5 benches.
maybe. I think people are saying that the amortization that he's doing is some of his American policy. I know everyone thinks it's just Todd Bowley's money. It's like a consortium, innit? I think is it a few billionaires together, or is it? I think it's quite a rich.
Let's just
consortium,
pretend
not-
it's him and he's mental.
Yeah,
It'd be really interesting to chat to him. Just be like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, well, this is what I'm doing. Because no one knows.
I was going to say about £4 of cocaine then, but that might be libelous, so I won't say it.
Allegedly. I said that twice today.
Have Brighton just sold their best player to Arsenal?
Nah, because he
Not that
replaced him
bad
with that Matoma. He'll get rid of Trossard. I reckon he'll buy like a winger / attacking mid for about 3 mil from somewhere, and he'll be a fucking baller as well.
Like League Oh. And
Like the second division in France.
Yeah, just out of
Even
nowhere.
more.
Where was he? I was playing a friendly in Kazakhstan.
I thought he had a
He
little bit about it.
looked a good
And he
player.
don't flop, did he?
I know that
got a World
here's the
Cup
thing,
winner.
They don't flop, and
Mad.
they do a madness for him, and then they flip him. Or all they do is they wait until they're playing well, and they just ring Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because people thought it was a madness
Especially
when he
now.
got rid of Basuma, and then Basuma's done nothing at Tottenham, and they've just not missed a beat.
Do you reckon they saw that coming?
They just replaced him with Casado, and unlucky, the player that retired for them, the one that, was it Mwepu or whatever his name was, because he had a bit of a heart condition and had to retire. He was a fucking baller as well. He's only 24. Just like,
Fergal McClements, again with a super chat there, says, I think Arsenal are going to be about for a while. They spent big a while ago, and they seem to be wise in the market. I think it's too early to say. I think even if Arteta wins the league this year, his average finish is still like fucking 6th or something, isn't
I
it?
do really rate that they've kept him though, because it doesn't happen in football anymore. Apart from Klopp and Guardiola, but like Klopp and Guardiola are different. That's why Arteta staying and now doing well is almost like a bit of breath of fresh air for football.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of a breath of fresh air, maybe your ball bag needs one. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year from our friends over at Manscaped. The ball has officially dropped, but that doesn't mean you have to drop the ball on your balls in 2023. Whether you had a New Year kiss or not, the leaders in below the waist grooming have got you covered for your much needed resolution of bringing sexy back. Join the 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com, use the code XG20 for 20% off and free shipping. Let's have a toast for a new year, new you, and a new you with no pubes. As always, they've got the Performance Package 4.0, and in there you'll find the Signature Lawnmower 4.0. The advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate parts. It's got an LED spotlight, so you can even shave your bush in the dark. And a grooming routine isn't complete without applying the Crop Preservant Crop Reviver before showing off your 2023 self. And to complete the set, Manscaped are throwing the Shed Travel Bag and Anti-Chafing Boxer Briefs as a free gift to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. If you really want to make 2023 a year to remember, make sure to try out Manscaped's wet goods as well. This includes their ultra premium body wash, 2-in-1 shampoo and body deodorant. These products are the absolute perfect follow-up for your New Year's gym resolution. Chase the new balls in 2023. Remember, 20% off and free shipping, code XG20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com with the code XG20. Shave your nuts.
I don't reckon you do. But anyway, I was thinking while that was on.
Oh,
that
no.
read.
I
have a very interesting question I'm going to pitch out.
Legitimately dangerous.
It's a would you rather, and it's been on my mind for a little while actually.
Oh dear.
Yes. Would you rather be able to speak to animals, or you can speak all languages? Because I'd rather speak to animals.
Why?
I just think it would be really cool because obviously, Mrs. has a dog, a really good dog called Finn, and
do you hear that? Confirmation of a missus.
Listen.
Official
It's
on
not been his
HG.
missus for about 6 months.
Nah. Yeah.
Nah,
Have you been?
Ronnie keeps me updated, mate.
Listen, and I looked at him. I always thought sometimes you look at dogs and try and imagine what accent they'd have.
So you want to be able to speak to animals to find out what accents dogs have?
So I reckon it would just be cooler to speak to animals because then you'd have to not wonder what accent they have instead.
Yeah, but
because I used to look at a dog and think he definitely has like a high-pitched Mexican accent.
Ridiculous. I don't even know where to start on that.
So would you rather?
I'm going to throw an angle. Go on, you go first.
I mean, I just feel like, what is an animal going to say to you that's going to be interesting?
What?
All they do, most animals, is hunt, eat, chill, do it all again. Probably a bit of shagging, do it all again. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, so why'd you do that? And they'll be like, just do it. It's just like my natural thing. That's what I do. And you'll go, all right, mate. Sounds. See you later. Ask the next one. They'll say the same thing. But you ask a dog, oh yeah, what are you doing today, mate? What are you thinking about? Treats, walks, food, getting stroked, going to bed. It's like, all right, mate. See you in a bit.
But if you could speak to an animal, which one would it be though?
Well,
I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here. So be able to speak to animals or speak all languages. But what if you get a German Shepherd and you go, what's happening, mate? And he's like, no sprechen Sie English. And you're like,
oh, shit.
Fuck's sake. Thing is, I think speaking all languages is a little bit overrated. It'd be cool, but like you can just...
Are you mental?
Now, there is a way to communicate.
Speaking all languages would be awesome. Yeah, not all communication is verbal, admittedly. You can do a lot of pointing and like that. But...
Google Translate as well now. That's going to get better as well.
It's so like... you know Reshmin, obviously.
Yeah.
Reshmin, presenter on Bein Sports. She's one of New Era clients.
Oh,
Real
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
right?
I know.
Me and Reshmin were standing at the paddle thing, right? And she flipped in 4 different languages in 40 seconds, and my mind melted.
Yeah, it's impressive. It is impressive. I just don't think it's necessary, especially if you speak English like we do. We can kind of get by.
So what you're saying is talk loudly, point, and crack on, yeah.
Una beera, por favor.
Nah, but the thing is,
I'm well jealous
if you could speak all languages, it would be cool. I reckon you can make more money that way as well.
Yeah, to be fair, like
Serious
I've
asset.
been learning Italian last few years, and I went to Italy with my dad and brother this summer, and like it was quite like I was able to speak to people. I was able to speak to like family members who like I've known since I was a kid, but I've never been able to talk to, and it was quite cool. It did feel good.
Trip. I had a German guy pretty much chase me at a Germany-Costa Rica game at a World Cup.
Why?
Well, I've got blonde hairish and blue eyes, and I'm wearing a Germany shirt, and a guy was I didn't realise he was shouting at me, And he was, I assume, saying something along the lines of, excuse me, mate, excuse me. But, like, I didn't know what he was saying. So I just carried on walking. And then when I turned around and was like, oh, no sprechen Sie Deutsch. And he was like, flipped into flawless English. And I was like, oh, we're pathetic. Like, proper wounded me, man.
For fuck's sake.
Star-Lord says, the funny you would get if you speak all languages would be unreal.
What the fuck?
But can you also imagine if you like actually spoke to animals though?
Go on, what animal are you chatting to?
So if you could speak to animals, but no one else could speak, like it wasn't like everyone could speak to animals, but you could speak to animals. Can you imagine the birds you would pull doing that? Because you'd be like, watch this. Hey, Mr. Crow, go and get me a flower. And a crow flies off and brings you back a flower. People are going to be like, get the fuck out of here. What was that?
I thought you meant you can just kiss the bird then, the crow.
All right, that was weird.
Pull all the birds.
There is a Labrador on Instagram where his owners have built this push button thing where he will tell you if he wants a walk. He tells you if he's sad. He tells you if he wants to go upstairs. It's incredible. Genuinely incredible. Have you seen it?
Not seen it, no.
I'm gonna have to find him because I can't remember his bloody name now. But it's like the Talking Lab or something like that. I haven't got my phone on me, so I can't find him. But it's something like the Talking Lab, like, and it's so cool. Like, you're like, my dog's a fucking weapon. I can't teach him anything. I couldn't imagine trying to teach him how to do this. But they started with just, I think it was like eat or toilet or potty, I think they call it, and they just had 2 buttons. So whenever he wanted something to eat, he would press the button, and they wouldn't give it him until he pressed the button, and they wouldn't take him outside until he pressed the button. And then from there, they've added like 50 buttons to it, so he can like say, "I'm sad because I want to go outside," or "I'm sad because I want to cuddle."
I agree. I was going to agree with IR though in the chat.
Amazing.
He says if you're the only person that can speak to animals, people would think you're crazy. It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon if you said I can speak and no one else could, I think the first thing people would think is I don't believe you.
But if you've got a dog going in front of you, and then you say like, go and get the blue ball, and he goes and there's like a load of balls there, and he comes and brings you the blue one back.
Yeah,
people would be like,
but I think
they'd still think you're mad.
But I think for people to believe you, you'd have to be barking at them. You couldn't just say it in English. I think
that's true. That looks weird.
And that looks weird. Do you know what I mean? So I think if you're gonna speak to a dog with all language, you can speak to a camel. You're gonna have to speak to them in camel. Yeah, or something.
Yeah, that is funny. Because you don't.
And then people think you look weird. But if you say get a blue ball in bark language, and they go and do it, that looks cooler. But do you know what I mean?
You got to growl it.
What would you ask your dog, Steve? You could say something.
I talk to my dog. Do you not talk to dogs? Like,
yeah, but does he talk back?
No, he doesn't talk back.
So what would you ask him?
He understands a hell of a lot. He's also dumb, but he understands a hell of a lot. Like,
give an example.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you can obviously he knows like.
Yeah, if you're like, do you want to go outside?
Jump up, get down. Do you want dinner? Like, do you want water? Like, and he communicates with you with stuff as well. Like sometimes he comes in and gets your attention, and the way he gets your attention is different depending on what he wants. So sometimes he wants you to follow him because he wants to show you something. So you walk into the kitchen maybe, and you'll be like, "You've had your dinner," but he'll be standing in a different place because he wants to show you something else.
There's a point. You can't tell him to go get a blue ball because people have said dogs are colourblind.
How do you know?
You can ask him.
I have the same.
How do you know dogs are colourblind?
I have the same theory with how do you know when you people kind of guess or come up with half-assed scientific explanations for how much, like how sentient animals are.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, isn't orcas supposed to be like twice as intelligent as humans?
How do you know?
Central nervous system.
How do you know what?
I reckon they've got IQs of like 240.
Yeah, but then like we don't know like how they're thinking. Like, what does IQ mean? What does it actually mean?
Well,
does it just mean like brain capacity,
isn't it? Yeah, capacity of like horsepower for your brain almost. So, but like orcas hunt great white sharks, and they've got them on video teaching their young how to hunt sharks. Basically, if they get sharks, they turn them upside down and they just leave them. They freeze.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? That is mad. This makes me want to watch like David Attenborough tonight.
Yeah, how do you know? How do you know that colour down there? So that light down there is green, right?
Yeah.
I see it as green. I think we're all agreeing that it's green. But what if it's not? How do I know that you're seeing the same colour I'm seeing?
See, I've had this thought before,
So
but I think it's because if you're seeing a different colour now, right?
You'd never know.
Yeah, but I know that like green plus this colour equals this colour. And you know that as well.
Yeah, but that's because you're looking at them, what you believe to be those base colours.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. Maybe you're right. But no. Actually, no. Do you know why? Do you know why we probably see the same colours? It's because like we can agree what colours look good together. Do you know what I mean? Like most people are like, yeah, green and blue. You don't wear them together because it just looks a bit weird. Everyone agrees that. But if you're actually seeing black and white and I'm seeing red and black, we can't agree on that. Do you get me? So I think we see the same colours.
Maybe. I mean, we probably do.
And
But
then
how would you know if you didn't?
Are you on about this blue and black?
Because you've just
dress?
seen that all your entire life.
What about the blue and black dress?
you
white
mean
dress?
the white and gold dress?
The white and gold. Is it white and gold or is it blue and black dress?
Yeah.
Where some people see blue and black, some people see
That's why
white
I'm
and
not on
gold.
Facebook anymore.
This is what I mean.
Not says
hell.
my red is different from your red. There, you probably are looking at different thingies.
Yeah, but isn't red and brown like a weird like if you're colourblind, that's the one colour that like goes weird. Am I right in thinking that? You don't see red, you see brown if you're colourblind?
Someone just said, imagine you ask your dad if it likes you and it says no.
You just take it to the dogstress. See you later.
The result on the poll, actually speak all languages, came out more than speak to animals. Quite shocked at that one.
Yeah, it'd be so impressive. If you're a single man and you're like chatting to loads of girls, they're going to love that.
Caleb says, I think when people mean they don't see the same colours, it's more of an intensity, like the brightness of green and red, possibly. Yeah. But it's a mad thought.
Well, we've got the green and red on the thumb. Got that mix going down, looking like an apple.
Oh, I see purple, mate.
And then we've got Odegaard behind bars.
Peter Knight says, come on then, boys, predictions for Sunday. Very, very difficult.
I think we beat them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I hope we beat them.
The way this week's gone, yeah, I could see us beating them.
I wouldn't be surprised if
They've
it's a
had
draw.
the week off. We've had a disappointment midweek. Like,
it'd be
it's
so
the same way that you knew you were going to draw with Palace. We're on this mad unbeaten run. They've lost 2. Yeah, they. Like,
I do think we needed that wake-up call against Palace, you know. Because like you can't just keep winning and keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. You need a result like that so it gives you the chance to bounce back
bit
and
of a
prove.
cleanse.
Bit like you said with Arsenal. They lost to us at Old Trafford, but then they just cracked on again. We've had a real disappointment, a game that we should have won. We didn't win it. Now let's see if we can bounce back, because if we can, that's going to be so good for the title race.
Do you know that women see more colours than men, and 1 in 4 see 100 more colours due to a faulty gene? Really? Is that why when women are saying things like, "Oh, it's more peach or
It's
mauve
not
or some
purple.
shit like
It's
that?
not purple. It's lavender or stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and you're like, huh?
It's just purple.
It's like dark purple, light purple. That's all I see. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, no.
Magenta.
I've seen a lot of negative. I've seen a lot of negativity in the chat about Anthony though.
Well,
And
he's
this
not playing
weekend.
well, is he?
It'll come good.
I think he will come good. But I thought out of all the signings we made, the Casemiro one I just didn't think was happening all summer. I thought it was lies. And I thought we probably overpaid for him. Anthony was the one that felt like the biggest risk. I thought Martinez was going to be good. Didn't think he was going to be as good as he was. Ericsson was a free hit.
What a signing that was. What a signing, man.
I don't know if we overpaid for Casemiro. At the time, he stole the ball on the best DM in the world.
Yeah, I thought
60 mil.
that sort of money you needed some resale
Just
in
'cause
him,
he's
and I don't
dirty.
think there's resale in him. Yeah, it's just pure resale thing.
I think because he came out of nowhere as well, you didn't have a lot of time to think about whether it will work or not. Do you know what I mean? It just kind of happened, and you were like, fuck, just signed Casemiro. And then he had a slow start, didn't he? He had a slow start. McTominay played really well. But now
Just
he just
eased him
made
in.
that position his own.
Again, another good choice by Ten Hag.
Do you think Casemiro's been like fucking chatting to McTominay and Fred this week, training?
Hopefully.
And he's like, do this, do this, do
For his
this.
dyed his hair blonde and they're going to try and say he's McTominay. Fezzi says, where does Paddock train? We train at East Manchester Academy. If you know where the Etihad is, you can find it because it's about 200 metres away.
Yeah, it's
basically in the shadow of the Etihad. So we train there. Tuesday, Thursday, 8 till 9:30. New players are welcome. We have 3 squads. We killed a squad. So we have 3 squads. First team amateurs and under 21s. Under 21s really 16s to 18s. So if you want to come and get in the mix, we are recruiting all the time. Players are moving on all the time. So yeah, come and get down, speak to a coach. Just stop fucking DMing and asking, can I come? Just come. Just come. Turn up. Turn up and get shouted at for walking.
I saw that video.
Manveru says, because there wasn't a name for it doesn't mean it wasn't blue before we strung BLU and E in a row. What? I don't know what that means.
Hey?
Jesus, kaleidoscope, looking out. It's all gotten a bit mental. But you didn't actually give a prediction.
Did you?
Oh, you're saving that for your preview that people need to watch.
No, I didn't think I'd give one in that either.
Great.
I find it really hard to go with on this. Obviously, I could see every possible result here. I could see us winning, losing, and drawing.
So that's called sitting on the fence.
It is
in a big way.
Sorry, but I.
Do you know what I'm going to predict? I'm going to predict all possible outcomes.
I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying it. Really.
Then I can't be wrong. Did you give a prediction, Ronnie?
I'm going for it. I reckon it's going to be a draw.
Yeah. 0-0, 1-1, 2-2.
No,
Would you have took 5 points
5-5?
from City
I can
Palace
picture it being 1-1.
City Palace and Arsenal?
100%.
Would you have took 5 points from City Palace and Arsenal?
100%.
Yeah, I would have.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he said this to me yesterday. Would you have took a draw against City and beat Palace? Probably would have done.
Exactly.
But it's the fact that we lost
Yeah,
those
so
extra
you
2
got
points
to
in the
see-
89th minute
Yeah.
and Casemiro. That's what fucks us up, innit?
Exactly. But anyway,
Yeah. I'm going to...
Go on, just give a score. Just got 3,
I think we'd beat
2, 1.
Here's the thing. I think we can beat them, but I'm burnt by Palace. Now, we could put 2 performances like that in a row. Maybe the lads had an eye on this game. Ten Hag, I reckon he's got into him after that.
Yeah, he's gonna get him. He's gonna get him proper G'd up, man.
Yeah, we're beating him.
Shaking his head, walking off the pitch.
We're beating him.
I reckon we're gonna be dangerous. I think we're gonna be dangerous.
Yeah,
I
we're
think we're
beating
gonna do
him.
it.
So
Come on, Fred. Come on, Fred.
Here's
Come
more.
on.
See you in the next one.